right. Hello, Vineyard.
Hello, Vineyard. Yes.
Welcome to episode 3. We're so excited you're joining us to our interactive podcast. Thanks for being here, Dad. Always appreciate it when you join us.
Yeah. Happy to be a part of the podcast. It's all good. And then don't forget to welcome Gibson.
Of course, gotta mention the cat. She's in the background.
She's sleeping right now.
She'll do
But
some
she
cat
will.
things throughout the show.
She will probably do some cat things very soon. Yeah. She does that. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm looking at myself on the screen. We set up a pool at my house, and I'm like the tannest I've ever been, even though it's kind of like pink tan.
Yeah.
It's it's
I
still it's
understand.
still great being outside. So,
Yeah. Yeah. You come by that pink tan kind of naturally.
yep, it's part of who we are.
Hmm.
And just want to remind everybody tuning in, if you want to see your comments on the screen, you can interact with us. Just comment on Facebook or YouTube. We can see it. For example, Alicia, not Alicia. I gotta call her Alicia from now on. Says
Alicia.
hello, and
Hi, Alicia.
I saw this too. She said hi to the cat too. Hi, Gibson. So
Ah,
very
Gibson
nice.
would care if she was awake.
I don't think she would care.
No.
See,
Did you?
go,
You
going back in the day, Gibson used to be my cat, and then
right.
when I got
Then
married, uh, Kim is slightly allergic to cats and doesn't really like the smell of litter boxes. So you have a rescue cat now. So
she
congrats.
technically what I call her is a rescue cat. Yes. So we share an office.
And she's
So
named
it's
after the guitar brand.
yeah, yeah. So that's she was your cat. That's for sure. Now I saw this meme about everything that's going on where dogs think somehow the whole stay at home thing is a reward and cats think it's a punishment.
It's like, what are you doing in my house? Get out.
Yeah. Why are you here so much? Leave.
That's funny.
Okay. Well, that's good. Let's see. Let's do some things here. So I'm looking at the notes that you sent me. Oh, hi. Somebody new. Good to have you here. So
Janine,
we're talking.
thank you.
Yeah, hi, Janine. So we're talking about the giveaways some there. I see that on the notes, and I had compiled some statistics that I'll be sharing on the weekend that I wanted to share with folks about what we've been able to do in April. And our giveaways. The history kind of is, so March 15th was the sort of the last Sunday that we could meet as a church. And then because on the 16th was when the president announced his 15 days to slow the spread, which he added to with another 30. So that first week, we were kind of just trying to make sure we were good to go online. Fortunately, we were pretty well prepared for that. But we've been adding ever since then, but fine-tuning things. But we got our first online service underway on the 22nd, new, so totally online service.
Right.
And then on the 25th, we started our first giveaway. That was a Wednesday. So pretty quickly, we started doing new things in ministry, things we had done. That was a Wednesday giveaway, and we were giving away toilet paper and paper towel because that was a huge need.
Still is.
And still is, yeah. So we continue to give it away. And then we did another giveaway on the 28th, and then starting that following week, we started adding rice and pasta and the meal kits to all the giveaways. And then on the 4th of April, we added a prayer drive-through station, which has been a huge deal on the giveaways. And then on the 16th of April, we started doing communion drive-throughs on Sundays. So we've been, adding these things as we go. But we sort of did a quick tally of the stuff that the church, through the generosity of the church, that we have purchased and given away through the end of April. And so there was 3,500 rolls of toilet paper so far, 3,500 rolls of paper towel, 5,000 pounds of rice, 4,000 pounds of pasta,
Wow.
2,500 of those meal kits, which are really nice meal kits. This last one we gave away was pressed chicken, which was a whole chicken split in half, with baked potatoes and peas, nice meals. So 2,500 meal kits, but that's when you do quick math, those meal kits feed 4 or 5 people. That's over 10,000 meals and over 2,000 pounds of fresh produce that we've purchased and given away. And so, I just want to continue to thank the church for being so generous that we could go out and purchase these things and then give them away to people in our community to bless them. And we're continuing to do that through May. We're going to keep up the meal kits and the toilet paper and the paper towel. I don't think we're going to give away the rice and pasta so much anymore because you can find those things now in the stores again. But
Sure.
still, that row at Winn-Dixie with supposed to have paper towel and toilet paper is still empty. So we'll keep purchasing those things and giving them away. We were a couple minutes late getting started today because Douglas had was over
I
at
was
the
hauling
facility
in
and
the toilet paper.
a shipment of
Yeah.
toilet paper showed up. Yeah, so we just got about another 1,000 rolls to give away. So that's going on with that, and that's been real good. We've also last week we really sort of doubled up on our Zoom meeting studies. We structured those, and so we had our first full round of Zoom Bible studies, and they went really well. All of them were really well attended, and so we're excited about that. And so you can check those out at vineyardzoom.com. And that will take you to a place on our website with a schedule of the events of all the different Zoom studies, and we'll be adding to that. And we're going to keep those going into the future because we think it's a great way to meet. We've really heard back that even though you're not in the same place, the presence of God is very real and the Spirit's moving, and so we just think it's an excellent addition to everything else. So those are going well. Again, check those things out at vineyardzoom.com, and then get on Zoom and log in and be a part. Those are all interactive studies, and we'd like for you to be involved with that.
Yeah. Please join us for the Wednesday night Zoom session. We
Yeah.
we were waiting, and I think everybody was a little scared of us. But we definitely want
Yeah.
the interaction on all of them. So
Yeah, the
definitely
difference with
join us.
the Wednesday night Zoom, it's a little different because we're streaming it, and so
Sure.
I think people might be a little hesitant to log in. But log in. Well, while I'm teaching, we'll keep you off, and then if you have any questions about that, and we're continuing our Old Testament survey. I had got into that, but another 4 or 5 weeks, I'll probably be out of that. And we'll start a new course, and we'll be talking more about the Bible Institute here in a little while. But we're kind of pressing through some of these things we have on top. What's this, Douglas? You have a podcast interview coming up with Will Doggett. What's that all about?
Yeah, so in the beginning of March, I did an interview with Will Doggett, who's an Ableton Live certified instructor. That's the software I use to help us automate a lot of the worship elements. And he has his own podcast for his site called From Studio to Stage. So he interviewed me at the beginning of March, and now it's come time where it's about to be published, that interview. So that should be this Monday or the following Monday. I'm not exactly sure, but that's coming up in the next few weeks. So check my socials for that if you really just want to hear me talk. It's mostly nerd stuff, but there's some good church stuff too. So but yeah, if you definitely like to be, nerding out, that'll be a very nerdy conversation. But there was a lot of good church stuff too. So, but yeah, that was right in the beginning of March, right before all the quarantine stuff started happening. So and he wanted me to talk about how churches use this software, and we still used it every weekend too, just in a different way, but it's been
Right.
very helpful to do
Yeah.
all of that. So
Good.
but yeah, that's going to be fun. That'll be one of these weeks. Check out the socials. I will share that. And
I saw Jerry come in and say hello a minute ago. Hi, Jerry. Nice to have you. And he'll probably like your Nerd Speak
I think, yeah, he'd
podcast.
definitely benefit
Yeah.
from listening to me talk.
Yeah. I think he'd not so much benefit, but maybe enjoy. Oh, yeah, and Alicia's letting us know she's starting a new Facebook group on scripture writing, Bible writing, and it's all planned through May, and that looks really good. And people are already joining. If you wanna go through that with her, that's another thing that we're doing. That's besides the Zoom stuff, we're trying to incorporate some. For those of you that don't want to get on, and interact with the computer, you can go on Facebook, and so there's a new group that she's starting on the Facebook page. I'm sure you can go and find that. And there's Jerry saying that he loves the nerd stuff. Jerry's been hard at work on our network.
Jerry has been
stuff.
nerding out big time at the church. We'll
Yeah.
definitely get some mad props to Jerry. He's always been a great
Yeah.
sound guy, and now he's helping me out with the internet here at the church, the networking. That's a whole nother nerd talk for another conversation. I think most of our most of our group here really doesn't care, but maybe they do.
Won't care about that. Yeah, who knows? Well, they can get with you. You need to do a nerd Zoom thing, and that can be your deal. Yeah, so that'll be good. You probably get a lot of folks on that. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, so the sermon this week. So we're in a series called Light, and I want to talk this week about the T. We're up to the T in trust, and I think it's gonna be. I'm looking forward to it. We're gonna go back into the Old Testament. And in the Exodus, and in that chapter 14, there's this moment in time when the people of Israel are trapped between the Red Sea and Pharaoh's armies coming at them, and they're trapped, and they have to trust God, and it's a big deal. And I just think there's something about feeling trapped that we can relate to. And sort of how through all of this, it's trusting in God that's going to make a difference, and we're going to build on that. I think it'll be very helpful. So if you want to get prepped up for the sermon, it's Exodus chapter 14, and get that read. And if I like context, right? You might want to get chapter before it and a chapter after it, something like that. But if you can, and I'll be talking about that. I think I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be it'll be a fun message to get together with.
We're on the T in Light now, huh?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So are we going to have a super long series called Light, or is it going to be like what's our time frame? Or you don't hold yourself to time frames. You just
not too much. I might run through some of the letters again. I still want to talk a little bit more about prayer, and I think I'll do that in the Implore, because I've been threatening to go back to the Lord's Prayer. As I'm praying, I really want to make sure that I'm listening for the Lord and using this time in a way that helps people. That I'm really praying about messages that are helpful in living this thing out. This is a difficult season. And so my hope is that as I sort of study and pray, I get what's on the Lord's heart to give to His folks. And so if next week I get into sort of let's move into something else, we will. But we may stay here, and because all of this goes back to being a light, right? How important it is to be a light in the world. And again, I keep going and saying thank you to the church. We're doing all that we can to be a light, and it's because the church is so generous and allows us to do those things that I know that these outreaches and stuff are making a big difference in the community. I forgot to mention too, we've had the ice cream truck out a lot.
Yes.
And that's a big hit. As it goes down the neighborhoods and little
Who doesn't
kids
love
can
ice
come.
cream?
I know, and it's free.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
free.
even better. I don't. Yeah. I probably should always mention that stuff. That all these things are free, right? We just give it away, and so we just keep going and being a light in that process. So I'm looking forward to that, and not 100% sure about next week yet. I haven't got that far. I'm still trying to get this week's out and tune it up for that. How about on your end? What's up for the worship set?
So I wrote them down so I wouldn't be jumping on Planning Center right before. We're starting off with the song Waymaker. Everybody loves that song. You actually told me to do it, so we're doing it.
I asked you to do it. It wasn't a told.
You heavily implied it, but it's all good. That's such a great song. I was very happy to do it. And then,
and to get that he makes a way. That's why it kind of fits with the
Waymaker.
Message. He's a way maker. Yeah. When we're feeling trapped, he makes a way.
Very good. And then After that, we're doing the new Jesus Culture song we did last week called Gold by Katie
Great song.
Torwalt. Angie's doing that one. That's going to be fun. And Pastor Angie is actually going to be our guest on the podcast next week, too. She said yes. So Billy has a
Nice.
meeting, but it'll be Pastor Angie. So that'll be fun.
Okay.
And then
Good.
after that, we're doing, I think it's Highlands Worship. There's a song called Jesus You Alone. My wife Kimberly will be doing that. And then the last song I'm super excited about. Uh, Easter Sunday, Elevation Worship came out with a song called Rattle. And it's really guitar driven, lots of like good rock vocals. So that'll be a new one for us this weekend too. That's going to be a lot of fun. So you'll definitely want to tune in for worship this weekend. It's going to be very cool.
Yeah, I just watched that on YouTube, and that's a great song and
It's
video.
really, I mean,
The video is interesting too because it's social distance
yeah, yeah, it's
video.
so
Yeah,
fitting for this time. Elevation Worship is like writing songs, and then in a couple of weeks they're publishing it. It's crazy. Um,
yeah.
so yeah, they're doing awesome over there. Anyway, the title of this episode was called Jesus Moment Bible Institute, and I thought it would be cool if everybody got a little history lesson on kind of how it started, and you were the driving force behind it. So, when did the Jesus Moment Bible Institute? That's what we do on Wednesday nights. That's the website. You talk about it, frequently. But when did it all start, and how did you start it?
So it all started in the beginning of 2014. I kind of had the idea at the end of 2013 in response to there was a group at the church at that time who really wanted to sort of dig in deeper, and I wanted to find a way to make it rewarding, a rewarding experience, and also figure out how to get maybe and earn a degree with it. And so began to do some research, and initially we started with one group of courses that was real good. But as I was putting it together, I think we've talked on some of these shows something about I was busy playing with websites all the time back then. I went and found a domain name, onlinebibleinstitute.org. So I bought that domain name, and I built a website on that. Well, and built it in a way that if you search on Google for an online Bible Institute, we come up one or two all the time and have for years. So then we started to add students from all over the world who were just finding it and wondering if they could get involved. And so then we had to go and find other courses. The first courses that we did actually had a little cost to them. And so we had to figure out how to do courses without that cost. So I started researching all over the internet and found out that there was a lot of really good institutions that offered college level courses for free. And so with some of those institutions, we made an agreement, and I have some signed agreements with some of them. With some, we didn't, but we just encouraged our students to sign up to their free courses, and then just as they take their free courses, they just write about that in our forums, and when they complete those free courses, we give them credit for it. So we were able that way to sort of put together a group of about 115, 120 courses. And so you only have to take 20 to earn an associate's degree or 40 to earn a bachelor's degree. And then in 2014, 15, or 16, I applied to the state for the ability to award degrees. And we were able to do that. Florida allows that for religious institutions to award degrees. So we we're able to award our own degrees, an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree in ministry. So that group that started in 2014, by the time we got to 2016, 2017, a lot of them were ready for an associate's degree. And so we were able to award them associate's degrees. And that was our first sort of class that went through. And there was about 25 of them, I think, that got associate's degrees. And then since quite a few have gone on and gotten bachelor's degrees, and other people have earned associate's degrees. I don't have the exact number in front of me of all the degrees we've given, but I think we've granted over 50 associate's degrees now, and probably in the neighborhood of 20 or 30 bachelor's degrees, um, ministry degrees to students all over the world, and many of them are involved in full time ministry, which I think is really cool.
That
So
is.
to be able to help people and bless people in that way, because a lot of people that want to take Bible classes that just don't have the money,
It's
and
expensive. I looked
yeah,
at taking classes from Liberty University, and it would have been significant cost. So, uh, you know,
yeah,
different style of program, different thing. But I think for people in the ministry, this is a great option because, yeah, obviously it's free, but it's very good, and it's more focused on absorbing the content than cramming
right,
for a test or writing a ridiculously long paper where you're just like unable to
right.
really make it coherent because you're just trying to space it out so far. So, no, I'm really proud of what our church has been able to do with that. And Alicia has a funny comment. I'm waiting for it to show up in my software.
Okay.
Let's see if we can get it.
Yeah, yeah. As of yesterday, we had 1,080 students.
1,080 students enrolled.
Yeah, 1,080. Which I'm reading her comment. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1,080 students. Alicia's one of our students now too. That's great. And it's a great deal for anybody, really, even if you don't want to earn a degree. I like constantly learning. I'm always taking courses. I've got 2 or 3 courses going now in different places all over the internet because I like to be learning. I like to get different viewpoints. I like to be encouraged, and so I don't think that should ever end. I'm coming up on 60 years of age here soon, and I'm not ready to be done learning.
Oh, that's in May,
Uh,
isn't it? The 26th.
yeah,
You got any
yeah,
big
it's coming.
plans?
No, no, I might start going to sleep a little earlier every night. I'm
There
gonna
you
move
go.
that from 8 to like 7:30 maybe.
Hopefully,
But
Denny's is open, so you could get like a 4 o'clock early bird special there. Get to bed by
it's
6.
kind of the problem is it's so far away from my house, Danny. I know. If I go out that late, I don't want to drive back. It
Man.
might get dark or something. Um, and we were the Bible Institute. I see one of your questions is if there's any future expansion. I kind of like where it is right now.
Sure.
Um, it takes a lot of work that because it's free. There's not a staff doing it. It's me pretty much reading people's papers and encouraging them and helping them, and getting their stuff. So it's kind of about what I can handle at this point in time. So I don't see it, but we'll continue to add courses. I like that we're adding, a thing that hasn't really taken off yet that I think will some point in time is that when people connect with that you can actually earn a degree by just coming on the weekends. And because I'm rolling all those things into courses. All of these series that I do roll into courses. And if you're listening, you're already getting a lot of the work done. All you really need to do to count it towards a degree is enroll in the Institute and write a comment in the forum. And then at the end of the series, you write a paper. And that counts as a course.
Oh,
So
wow.
for people that are really busy, it's still a great option. For me, part of my thing in this was so I got saved here in the Keys in 1985, and then shortly thereafter felt called into the ministry. I had no background because I grew up, you know, as a pagan basically, no church experience, and and then had that calling into the ministry, and what do you do with it? I knew I needed education, and so 1985 there wasn't internet. There, like we have now. And so, I had to go and figure out how to continue my studies in the right direction. I went back. I'd had a year of college at that time, and then I'd quit because I was running bars before I got saved. And then, which actually was very I learned a lot. That helps me in
You've
ministry.
used a lot of the management principles you learned in the bar
Management.
in your church.
Yeah, yeah,
So it
yeah.
goes to show God uses everything.
Yeah, yeah, all of that. I used to run in bars, and then I used, talking to people and cooking. We had kitchens. I learned how to run kitchens. I used to DJ sometimes in the clubs, and so I kind of got a feel for being up in front, and and you'd have to talk on that microphone in front of people sometimes. So, way different than they do it now. We actually had real turntables back then and stuff, but as far as education goes, then so I had to get schooling. Like I said, I went back to community college, finished up a couple of years, and then I did the rest of mine correspondence, which was really tough and very hard. Great education. I went and got a degree from it was Berean University at the time. They've changed their names yet. It was an AG school, accredited school, great education. Very happy for it, but it was a lot of really hard work, and you had to send stuff back and forth. And then some years after that, I got my master's degree at another place, and that was by then we were on the internet and able to do those things.
We got,
But
I got the same master's as you. We got it from a school called
yes,
Atlantic Coast Theology and Seminary. But yeah, we're both
right,
we're alumnuses of the same place basically. I got my bachelor's from St. Leo University, which is
right,
they have a campus in Key West, and yeah, we're
right.
we're both graduates from the FKCC, which is now a
Florida,
four-year school,
right,
College of the
right.
Florida Keys. So
Yeah.
and
No,
all those
I'm
schools
very
are now
proud.
online schools.
Yeah, both my kids, Douglas and my daughter Sarah, went to the community college and then went to St. Leo's and graduated, and so we were very happy about that. Then Douglas went on and got his master's degree. But the institute was born out of that, my experiences, and then how to make it so that people could, I want people to learn and be able to get ahead and work on those things. So we put that all together, and then, I didn't, I never found a free option back when I was going for it. So that was another thing that we've always tried to be able to. How can we do this and make it free, so that it's not an obstacle for people? So we figured that out. So that was good.
Yeah,
Cool.
I mean it's tremendous. So we had a comment from Sheila, which was actually from Chassis. She says hi. So here, I'll put that on there.
Ah,
So there you go, from Chassis. Hi, cool. So
hi.
we'll give it a few
Good to see you
seconds,
guys.
because yeah, there's probably like 20 seconds of latency from when we talk to when we see the messages. But now's a great time to post your comments, any questions you have for us, whether about the Bible Institute or my dad's cat, which used to be my cat, anything going on. Now's a great time. We really want to get the interaction going. That's our goal with this. So I'm trying to think of how about you ask me a question, because you got to do a lot of talking.
Oh, okay.
Like you can't think of anything. Nice.
No, you put me on the spot. I'll think of something in a second. Um, what was I gonna? Let's see. What would be a good question for you? Uh, how about you, as far as having to prepare and continue to prepare for worship during this time when you don't have that sort of interaction with people? Because really leading worship is all about just that. It's not just playing music. It's about leading people into worship. How are you finding that in these times when we don't really have, we're doing these recordings just there,
Right.
and what is that like? And still, I mean, it's very worshipful, but there's a difference. So how's that going with you?
You know, like especially when there's only two or three people in the room, it's a different feel, right? So I try to be more upward focused during the worship, which is like, okay, God, use this. And, I have to sort of feel like there's people in the room still, because there's people watching. People will engage based on my engagement level with it and the team's engagement level. So I think we're fortunate that, our worship team is very engaged. I'm very proud of each person on our team and their engagement. But during the week, I'm praying. I'm like, okay, Lord, what songs should we do? I try to pick songs that are uplifting and encouraging, because I think that's what people, need right now to kind of get going. But it's just
Right.
it's a lot of praying. It's like, Lord, use this. I know you can. help. That's we just kind of ask for God's help the whole time, really. He's the one who makes it all happen, and it's a lot of prayer. It's a lot of letting God do His thing. I just try to do what I can and hope that it helps. You know, people
Yeah.
online, and I'm encouraged. I feel like we're getting close to the tail end of the lockdown, where I feel very optimistic about us meeting in person where we've got people in the room. Might be different. It's going to be a new normal, but it's got to be coming soon. I think we're getting close with lots of protections in place. So, I'm looking forward to that, and it's just like I said, staying upward focused I think is important for all of us to do.
Yeah, I get a sense, so Alice and I are in the room when worship is going on, and we're fortunate to be there. But it feels to me when we're in there that we're still sort of all together worshiping. I get a sense of being a part of a bigger something in those moments. So that's been helpful. And even for me when I'm up there speaking with just a few people in the room,
Yeah.
the folks on staff and stuff, it's a different dynamic. But
Yes.
you get a sense that you know that it's going to be out there for people, and so that's an important thing. And I'm optimistic about uh, reading some, getting ready for us sort of figuring out how to get back together soon, and we'll be talking more about that. We've got we're not we're ready. We're just waiting, but
Yes.
it's not like we haven't given it a lot of thought. So
Oh,
we're
we're
just
thinking
trying to
about it
be.
every day.
Yeah, yeah. So someone here. So Carol just started reading Daniel. Daniel's a great book. One of my favorites. Of course, I will say that about every book.
They're all
But
your favorite, just like everybody.
yeah, yeah. I just did a study on Daniel too. Just a couple of weeks ago, I think.
It
So
was one of
it's
your Wednesday night
probably
talks when you were
it
going
was
through the
just
Old
and it was
Testament.
just happened. So I just did Hosea the week before that. I did Jonah probably the week before that. So 654. So probably if you want some insight into Daniel, go and you can find my talks with. You don't even have to go to the Bible Institute on Vineyard Church Online. Which the way to get to that is keysvineyard.info, and go to the videos and Carolyn, and then watch the video from Old Testament 3, the prophets, part 3 or 4, and that'll be all about Daniel. And I think I'll give you some good insight into that. Great book, lots of neat stuff to read in Daniel. The characters in Daniel are wonderful. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and the being tossed into the fire, and how Jesus is the fourth one in the fire and comes and rescues them, and that's really cool. And then you've got the whole lion's den story in Daniel, which is another wonderful passage about the faithfulness of God. And really Daniel has a lot about the faithfulness of God. It's also very prophetic. Daniel 7 in particular is got a lot about the end, if you would, ties in with Revelation a lot, and certainly we're looking forward to all those things that are coming when God makes all things new. Remember, that's the idea in the end of Revelation 21. It's really about God making all things new. How cool that is, and restores the earth and gives us new physical bodies, and we're with Him forever. And there's clues to that in Daniel. So, great book. Go watch a video, and I think you'll get some insight into that.
Very cool. We'll stay online for a few more minutes. That was the most recent question comment. Do you So Mia, your little rat terrier, made the sermon this last weekend. Is she near you? Did
Yes.
she make a guest appearance?
Let me see if I can get her. Hang on. I got my office door closed. Let's see if I can get your mother. Hey,
Because
Alice, can you bring Mia here? Douglas wants to introduce Mia to
yeah,
everybody.
the cat gets all this screen time. I feel like the dog's your favorite. Like I made
Okay.
a
Yes.
post on National Siblings Day with Sarah and I, and the hashtag was the dog is the favorite. The dog wasn't in that picture though, but this is this is the
Let's see
favorite
ya.
child coming into the shot
This is my
now.
favorite. Come here.
There's
Oh
there's
my
Mia.
goodness. There she is.
There's my
There.
mom,
Yeah.
and there's
That's
Mia.
Mia right there. Yeah. Can you say hi to everybody? Uh, She's just watching Alice. She's like, "What's going on? What's happening to me?"
And Mia makes quite a few sermon illustrations.
Yeah, she does. I talked last week about how she greets me when I come home, even if I've only been gone for a few minutes. It's always amazingly welcoming, with lots of activity and spinning about. And the comparison I made was not comparing her to God in any way, but how excited it is when we are spending time with God. He's always happy for us to check in like that. So she's good. She's gotten a little gray, but
Mia's
she's a good dog.
10 or 11
10.
now? 10? Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
10. I think she's 10. Yeah. She'll be 11 in October. So, but yeah, she's our baby and our favorite. Yeah, he's saying that. All right. Okay.
Not true.
There's.
Not true.
Yeah. Here.
And,
Take our
and
baby.
those are the only two pets my parents have.
That's it.
Yep. Cool. Well,
That's
all right.
it.
Well, we're going to be goodbye vineyarding here. We'll make that an action phrase, a verb. So if you guys have anything you want us to talk about in the coming weeks, post them in the comments now. On Facebook, like the church's page, YouTube, subscribe. You'll be able to find this podcast on iTunes and Spotify, so you can find it there. Share it with your friends. We will see you next week. Have a great day.
Absolutely.
See you guys.
Spotify, Keys Vineyard, Spotify.
Yes.